What's going on, FUD Nation? I missed you guys so much. I've been here enjoying this beautiful sunset. I hope you guys are enjoying it too. Let's hop in and do some crypto news. There's a lot to cover today, and I'm going to launch into a little bit of a rant at the end. That's right, it's rant time. It's Friday, time to rant. So without any further ado, let's get to this. So it seems like the slip and slide off of our highs of at least a day or so ago are starting to take effect. I don't know, this could just be a weekend slump. Very hard to tell which direction the market's going right now. Obviously, I did an interview with a Bloomberg analyst a couple days ago where, he predicted that the market's going to continue to drop significantly from this point. Obviously, I'm not that analyst, but I thought it was an interesting point of view. I personally don't see a ton of catalysts for a bull run right now, even though we have some on the horizon. I don't think they've kicked in yet. So in my opinion, I think that, the case for this being an extremely big bull run right now might be a little bit thin. But you guys let me know. Hopefully, optimistic as usual, but I'm looking for that Q1 sort of rush, hopefully timed in sync with backed and other sort of institutional changes, hopefully with some regulatory clarity as well as some involvement from the herd or institutional players. We'll have to see how that goes. But let's hop into some news, some things that we do know. First and foremost being that Tron is forming a $100 million blockchain gaming fund. Justin Sun just announced this via Twitter a day or so ago, and this is phenomenal news. I saw a couple articles saying that this was another Tron fund, and to be honest, there had been a previous fund announced called Project Genesis that was supposed to be to the tune of $2 billion, but I think that program got reeled back or at least put on the back burner. So hopefully that this $100 million, which is a slightly more modest fund from the $2 billion fund, will actually go forward and we'll start seeing some noteworthy investments from Tron in dApps on their ecosystem. We also got word that the SEC has officially charged and fined DJ Khaled and Floyd Mayweather for promoting scams. Crypto scams are technically securities that they had been paid for and that they did not disclose that they were paid for promoting. This is a huge problem. I think this is rampant in the crypto space. I've seen a lot of people, big and small, people who I honestly didn't expect would do this, but you see a lot of promotions of cryptocurrencies or tokens, and people aren't disclosing their connection to those tokens. I'm not going to name names here. I'm sure people who are sharp-eyed viewers are able to tell when someone has been paid for a promotion. And, I almost can't think of anyone who's a crypto YouTuber who hasn't done this. I personally take a ton of pride in having not even responded, much less acknowledged and agreed to promote any ICOs. I have an inbox full of offers and I just ignore them because that's not what this channel is about. So I'm really proud to say that I've never engaged in promoting someone's token and I've never been paid for it. And I certainly have never promoted something and then just taken money and then not told the audience that I was actually being paid. That is some shady behavior, but unfortunately it's happening each and every day here in crypto land. So take everything with a bit of a grain of salt. And obviously if you have a boxer promoting a technology investment, just ask yourself, what in the world does this guy know? We have some good Coinbase news here with them quietly adding free withdrawals to PayPal accounts. So this could add a more friction-free way to withdraw from Coinbase. To me, Coinbase is just, pushing the boundaries as far as really integrating cryptocurrencies with traditional sort of payment systems. Obviously, they're the fiat on-ramp here in America and in a lot of other places. So that's very good. They also added Zcash to Coinbase Pro. So they're making some moves in that direction as well. Keep adding coins. I think a lot of people really wanted them to add a lot of coins in the bull run, and here now we're in the depths of the bear market and all those coins are getting added, Stellar, BAT, Zcash, 0x. I think it's really interesting, and obviously maybe that won't do too much for price right now, but as soon as the next bull run kicks off, I think we're going to get a lot of price action on anything that's on Coinbase, just because it's going to be so easy for people, especially more traditional investors, less savvy technical investors that are familiar with the Binances and the KuCoins and the DEXs and all that. It's going to be a lot easier for people to just go with their credit cards and buy whatever coins are on Coinbase. We also have OceanEx here, which is the exchange within the VeChain ecosystem, and they're now live. So I think it's just their sort of beta pilot here, but check it out. It's got a beautiful interface. I haven't done any trading on it, but I'm curious, what do you guys think of this OceanEx exchange platform? It's definitely been super hyped. Their ICO did very well. So I'm curious to see how this plays out. Let me know if anyone is using this OceanEx exchange. And here we have Tether announcing that they're returning to their original model of allowing you to convert your Tether back into direct fiat and withdraw it. So, I mean, this is kind of the sort of proposition that's behind True USD and other different types of stable coins. So I think that's something that everybody really wants to see, is that, okay, so I have something worth $1, but can I ever turn it into $1? Yeah, and that's kind of been the big joke with Tether, is that what you have is just a digital nothing. But the problem is that Tether works. So that's the thing about Tether is, of course, if it crumbles, it could take down the whole ecosystem, but it hasn't crumbled. And for some reason, it just keeps on going. So despite all the FUD, despite all of the sort of shadiness of the connection between Brock Pierce and how Bitfinex and Brock Pierce created Tether, and they own the bank, in Puerto Rico that actually does all the banking for Tether. And yeah, they haven't gotten any auditors because they've got this shady banking. It's all these things, layers and layers and layers. And, Brock Pierce and co would say, yeah, of course, no one will audit us. You go try to get audited. And to be frank, I don't think a lot of people have been in that position of, owning a stable coin and having, billions in liquidity and trying to get a traditional auditor to audit their company. If you have, comment in the comment section. But I think that's a pretty rare situation to be a part of. So maybe they're right, and maybe they're doing their damnedest to actually provide, the right value. Who knows? Obviously, there's a lot going on with Tether behind the scenes, but for all we know, it just keeps on working. Let me know what you guys think about Tether. For better or worse, it's played a significant role in our ecosystem. Let me know what you guys think about Tether, and let me know what you think about this direct fiat withdrawal. I think it's a pretty interesting revelation. We also have TheKey coming through with some good news. If you can see right here behind my head, we have the BDMI mainnet launch, which is on November 30th. They have their biometric identification system mainnet launching now. We also know they've had a massive testing ground going on in China with tens of millions of users and, beta testers, if you will, a lot of people in the medical system. It's an interesting project, and, I personally have quite a bit of TheKey, and I'm hoping that they continue to develop their ecosystem, because I could really see them being a titan of this new blockchain-based identity space. We have more news out of Ohio as well, as they keep reiterating that they are here to stay when it comes to blockchain. They want to be one of the leaders in the crypto space. They're going to keep pushing for it. And I think that's what this is about, is you're going to see littler economies that maybe need a boost, need a bump, need some differentiation. And this is going to be a viable option for that, is by going to cryptocurrency and being one of the first to actually embrace it and provide a habitat where these companies and these different enterprises can thrive. I think that's going to be an interesting thing to see how that bet pays off for the little island nations like Malta, or even states within the United States like Ohio that are saying, you know what, we're going to be one of the first here. We've seen it with Wisconsin as well. So I think it's very interesting to see states go ahead and push forward and say, you know what, no, we're going to do this because we see the potential. We also have the New York Stock Exchange chair saying Bitcoin and crypto are here to stay, an unequivocal yes. That's pretty good. Obviously, we also know that they're behind, they're closely associated with the Bakkt platform, because their parent company, Intercontinental Exchange, is the one creating Bakkt. So this isn't surprising, but it's just good to see constant reaffirmations throughout the bear market. It gives us that fodder, that emotional strength to get through this bear market and know that there are sunny days ahead, or at least better days, more official, days where we can come into the light and start trading more officially. And so we have that to look forward to. We have people in very high places that are friends of cryptocurrency. And yes, we've seen an absolutely staggering spike in Bitcoin searches. Look at that little spike there. Of course, Bitcoin searches have been largely compared to price action. However, unfortunately, it seems as though these recent searches are probably to check the Bitcoin plummet, see how low the lows are getting. Maybe people are considering buying, but it's hard to say whether this is necessarily a great sign. Obviously, the more chatter, the more people talk about it, the better, but who knows what's really behind this searching activity. We also have the sad news that SteemIt has laid off 70% of its employees, and that's due to this crypto cooldown. So that's sad for SteemIt. It's been one of the sort of cornerstone applications, one of the most successful dApps in the history of cryptocurrency and blockchain. They actually have, as far as decentralized social media applications, they're one of the most successful. So very much so a pioneer, and it's sad to see them cooling off, but it makes sense. How are you supposed to sustain an ecosystem, especially if they maybe hired a bunch of people as the bull run was ramping up? It's hard to sustain that as, your budgets and trajectories and, the amount of money you have gets cut down by 80, 90, 95. That's a lot of percentages to lose. And here we are, we have arrived because it is rant time. That's right. I am here to rant to you. Dan Larimer put up a Telegram message saying, what if I told you I've solved privacy and infinite scalability? What if I told you 10 mil TPS, no fees, 10 million transaction per second, no fees? Winky face, winky face. What if I told you no RAM or disk issues? What if I told you everyone can run a full node? What if I told you no voting or staking? What if I told you 200 milliseconds confirmation time? What if I told you 2019? A lot of what ifs. I would say, what if you told us that, Dan? What if? Are you telling us? I'm not sure if you're telling us. Here's what I have to say about this. I was a really big fan of EOS. Obviously, there was a lot of price action and I thought it was going to continue, but it's hard to tell with EOS because they have so much liquidity. And, I just don't put it past them to do some wash trading to help, really run up the price of their coin. I'm sure there was a lot of FOMOing as well, but, leading up to their mainnet launch, they really ran up the price. And now it's just, wow, it's really staggeringly low compared to where it was over $20. So here's what I have to say about EOS, because I was really, really excited about this project. But part of the things that really put me off is seeing how the mainnet actually worked. And don't get me wrong, I want to give every project a chance to work it out. And I think everyone deserves a chance to work it out. All these young projects. Ethereum, I still consider a young project, only a couple of years old. Brand new tech, let's give them a chance to work it out. EOS, let's give them a chance to work out this crazy sort of liquid democracy thing they're doing. Do I agree with all the things they're doing? I don't necessarily agree. I've obviously expressed some concern with the ECAF, the sort of arbitration system, but I understand that that can evolve as well to be better. And then there's also the concepts, companies like Tron who are really working out the kinks and trying to build these decentralized ecosystems that can support the next generation of technology. But here's what I have to say about this. EOS is a nightmare to use. I love the concept of scalability. I love their concepts of having these different marketplaces. But even as someone who I consider myself fairly savvy here, I develop apps. I'm working on dApps right now, building on Tron. And I can tell you that the amount of variables involved in the EOS dApp ecosystem between voting, staking, the RAM, it's very, very cumbersome and confusing. And I think that alone is sort of going to hinder its growth. So to me, the idea of removing the staking and the voting and the RAM issues and sort of just making it user friendly. You need to make these things user friendly. And that's what I thought EOS was all about, is building an environment where dApps can thrive. In order for dApps to thrive, you need it to be user friendly. Very simple. What made apps so great is that they were super easy to use, that they dumbed things down. So dumb it down for us, Dan. Please dumb it down. And I think if you do that, and we're able to do this in 2019, it would just be a phenomenal leap forward, not just for EOS, but for all crypto kind. I personally, this makes me more excited about EOS because I had been thinking that they were happy with this ecosystem that they had set up. And to me, I think that there's a lot of work yet to be done. So if they're willing to go here and redesign and rethink some of these concepts that they've put into practice here, I think that that would be a tremendous benefit to them in the short, medium, long term. And this is amazing. So you asked me, Dan, what if you were to say all this in 2019? And I would say, phenomenal. And I would start buying up bags of EOS because I would be very, very excited about what might be coming onto the platform. To me, it's very exciting if this is all true. But again, this is all hypothetical, it seems like. So I don't know. I'm going to be looking for a lot more details to come out on this. Hopefully there's going to be more clarification, but at the same time, I'm very excited if this is true about what this means for the EOS ecosystem. And now it's gotten me back excited about what EOS could do or what it could mean, because I was previously very excited. And then seeing how the mainnet came out, I didn't want to be a hater, but I didn't really support it. I didn't really like it. Let me know what you guys think. Are you excited for what this could mean for EOS? Do you believe Dan Larimer? Are you frustrated with EOS? Are you excited for EOS? Let me know in the comment section below. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed today's update. Friday, November the 30th. We're closing in on the end of what has been a long and trying year. Thanks as always for showing up, supporting the channel, liking, commenting. Of course, if you subscribed, I love you with all my heart. If you're not subscribed to this channel, hit that sub button and click that little bell notification. That way you're made aware whenever I put out new content. I'm Leo Trades. You're watching FUD TV, and I'll see you very, very soon on the next episode.